Who introduced you to pursuing a musical direction in your lives, and what would you be doing, or how would your lives be different if that never had occurred?
That's not what you said your question was.
Your question was, where do we get our shoes?
My dad got me into music. I mean, both my parents were always singing around the house and warring between Beatles and Joni Mitchell. And but my dad, he played trombone in the marching band in college, and so he would break it out on the weekend and march up and down the hallways, and me and my brother and sister would follow him singing and like waving our hands, and it was just like the best thing ever after pancakes on a Sunday morning. It's a really joyous part of my life and a part of my family, and so I think it just became a big part of my life because of that.
Heartbeat.
Oh, and part B, I got these boots at Sea of Madness.
Oh, part C.
Yeah,
What's part C?
What would you be doing if you weren't?
What would you be doing if it wasn't this?
Like if at this moment someone said you can't do music, period, what would I do? I would do something with animals, I think.
I have my oldest brother always had rock music playing, like mostly stuff about like the devil or rocking or cars or rocking with the devil in a car, and that was just really, really cool when you're 8 and your older brother's like, you know. And I remember I went with him. It was my first time to go to Sound Warehouse to get my own tape. And
Tapes, by the way, are these things that have yeah. Anyway, I can't even explain what tapes are. I forgot.
Ask your parents.
Yeah.
But no, it was so great. I had my own money and I got to go buy a tape, and I didn't know what I was going to get. And he pointed in a direction of a few tapes, and there was this one that had these 4 band members on it, and I thought the lead singer was so hot. She had this like blonde hair and all this makeup on, and it turned out it was Vince Neil from Motley Crue. My parents made me burn the tape, though.
So Vince Neil is what got you into music?
Basically, Motley Crue is what got me into music. And if I didn't get into music, I guess is the next part B. If I had no musical ability at all, I would probably be like an English professor somewhere, or teach people how to like read and write.
Where'd you get your shoes?
Yeah, where'd you get your shoes?
These are Diesel.
Well, I was in 3rd grade, and I was in chorus, and I was like, this is stupid. I want to be outside playing with my friends. And so I quit, and my chorus teacher called my mother and was like, you got to get her back in here because there's something about her. So my mother basically threatened me with my life. If you met my mother, you'd understand, you'd be scared too. She basically forced me to go back into chorus. She's like, I don't care what you have to do. I got back into chorus, and it's been my life ever since. So I guess my mom is the one who
And
did
your
that.
choir teacher together.
And my choir teacher, yeah, Mr. Scheinhoff. I would probably be living overseas, working with organizations for gay rights in underdeveloped countries and stuff like that. That's what I would love to do. And I got these shoes at Urban Outfitters.
I was taking piano lessons because that's just what you do when you're a Jewish kid. And so I was taking piano lessons in like 3rd and 4th grade, and the teacher would smack my hands because I would never practice and I would get notes wrong. And so I quit. And I was going to camp during the summer. So I went to camp. There was a kid at camp named Danny Carpel. Danny Carpel could play the piano, and he could play what he heard on the radio. And so he would sit at the piano, and the girls would just like lose their minds. And so I was just like, I gotta get back into piano. I really think that's like what.
Because you wanted to get laid.
That is the sad truth, is that I had to get chicks. But then I was playing the piano, so you can't do anything with the piano if you're in high school or middle school, because you can't be in the marching band and you can't be in a regular band because you play the piano. And, I mean, it's just like the worst.
So were you in the orchestra?
I actually was. I was in the All-State Orchestra, but the orchestra doesn't usually need a piano.
And it doesn't really usually have chicks either, let's be honest.
Exactly. Anyway, that's really what happened. And if I wasn't doing that, I would probably be a doctor.
He studied pre-med.
I was pre-med in college.
And where did you get those shoes?
And these shoes are from the Adidas store in Toronto, Canada.
Oh, wow.
Goodbye.
The end.